Oh, let's bring in our political editor, Andrew Clennell, live from Brizzy this morning. Good to see you up there, Andrew. So, what's the PM got in mind? You know, is there a move to spend more on defence?
I don't think so. I think you've got to take his public comments as they are, and that's the Americans. Donald Trump can't tell us what to do. First, they asked for 3% of GDP defence spend. Now it's 3.5%, and they released that publicly. What's next? 4%? We're about to spend $368 billion off submarines we're buying off the US and UK. Isn't that enough? And there's still a lot of scepticism whether we'll see them, frankly. What do they have in mind? I mean, it's one thing to have this arbitrary figure. What do they want it spent on? We're also buying missiles as part of the AUKUS deal. Frankly, I'm pretty concerned, though, because this is the first time I've wondered about the US alliance. I've spent my entire life thinking the US would always defend us, as other countries I'm sure have. Now I'm starting to wonder.
Well,
and,
I mean...
look, that's a very concerning period. And the thing is, unless you get a nuclear bomb, to be frank, what protection do you have?
Yeah. Well, and if that alliance isn't there, then we do have to spend more. But as Jackie Lambie mentioned, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I mean, the money that we're also spending on defence, she argues right now, is a lot of it's being wasted anyway, and we just don't have enough troops. So for the next, I don't know, short term, medium term, troops. If there was something terrible that happened in our region, then we're unlikely to be able to do anything anyway.
Well, the issue is these submarines and how long they're going to take, and what delays and cancellations, etc., there've been. And I always thought it was a bit concerning when I interviewed Richard Marles when Anthony Albanese was in San Diego announcing the thing had moved forward, and I asked him, well, is there a contract? He goes, no, it's government to government. Now, when we had the Japanese and French deals, there was a contract. There's no contract here. Yeah. So that's one of my biggest concerns. But, I mean, you can see Anthony Albanese, he's just won partly because he's seen not to be, you know, just bending to Donald Trump on everything. He's won a massive election victory. I think he would find some difficulty in turning around and just doing whatever the Trump administration wants, like a lapdog. But Trump... Yeah. He and Pete Hegseth are doing this, you know, all over the region. They're asking for a bigger defence spend. Perhaps the only way to settle this is, and I don't think we'll be going to 3.5%, but at least if they can come to an agreement on what sort of capabilities we should be buying, what sort of things, whether it's more missiles or whatever it is, because the Prime Minister has indicated a few times now that he would be prepared to spend more, but only on specific needs, on need, as he puts it.
Yeah, you mentioned the size of Albanese's win on the election. Given the size of that win, why poach Direinda Cox?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess she offered herself up, so why not accept it? She could have gone independent otherwise, but I don't think it's a great look for Direinda Cox, let's face it. And it doesn't make any difference to the Senate numbers because they still need the 10 remaining Greens to pass anything. Yeah. But Direinda Cox, Indigenous Senator, going the week they approved the North West Shelf extension, which is controversial because of emissions, but also Indigenous rock art. Going a week and a half after she lost the deputy leadership, 9 votes to 3. Going after there were bullying allegations against her. There are a few hairs on this one. I think Labor thinks we're getting the Fatima payment number back. I think they look at it that simply, but the number, in effect, doesn't really matter.
Does this... well, it doesn't change the game when it comes to the super tax. I mean...
Exactly.
The government needs somebody, needs either the Greens or the Coalition. I mean, which way are they going to go, do you think? Which one's a better option for them?
Well, this coalition thing's been way much too talked up this morning, according to my information. Well, as if I mean, they can easily do a deal with the Greens where they get the whole tax through, it seems to me. That's been seen in the public comments of Larissa Waters and David Shoebridge, and I'm told at least by a Green source, I don't know if this is true, that the Direinda Cox defection won't have any impact on this. So I think they just get it through if they wish.
Would the Greens just move on their threshold?
Yeah, I'm sure they would. So how it normally shakes down is they'd move the amendments for the new threshold. The government wouldn't vote for them, and then they'd just pass the government's legislation. I reckon there's every chance of that happening because the Greens would think there's a mandate for this and some tax on what they perceive to be rich people is better than none. On the other hand, the Coalition is asking for the whole proposal. We'll pass it if you shred the entire proposal. So take indexation off, and take off unrealised gains. Well, you may as well not have the thing. It'd raise nothing, wouldn't it? So the whole point is to raise revenue.
Well, I mean, there's an argument that it might not raise much anyway because smart people are just going to move their money around.
I get all that. I just think, if the coalition said take it off unrealised gains but didn't go the indexation route, there'd be a chance. But their current position, I don't see any chance of the government teaming with them. And I think Anthony Albanese's comments yesterday were just what you'd say. We leave every option open.
All right. Good to see you, Andrew.